They say no one stays the night at number 11, Blackridge Lane, not because they can't, but because the house won't let them. In the quaint, quiet town of Oak Haven lived a girl named Mira, an adventurous soul who loved urban exploring and delving into the macabre. All that remained was the house on Blackridge Lane, a place where darkness seemed to reside even in broad daylight. This Victorian mansion stood as a testament to bygone eras, its gables reaching towards the sky like gnarled fingers. The paint peeled away, revealing the gray, decaying wood beneath and windows vacant, staring blankly into the world. Rumors swirled around the town about the house. Some spoke of strange lights seen at night, while others claimed to hear the echoes of laughter and screams in the dead of night. However, these tales only fueled Mira's curiosity. So one day, armed with nothing but her flashlight, a camera, and an unquenchable thirst for adventure, she decided to venture inside the hallowed halls of number 11, Blackridge Lane. When night fell, Mira arrived at the house. The fog rolled in, adding a layer of mystery to the already eerie setting. As she stepped closer, the silence pressed against her ears, amplifying every creak and groan of the aging structure. The front door stood slightly ajar, inviting her in. With a deep breath, she pushed the door open, stepping into the unknown. The interior of the house was a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. Dust motes danced in the faint beams of light that managed to penetrate the grimy windows, illuminating rooms frozen in time. The air was thick with the scent of decay. Each room she explored seemed to hold its breath, trapping the essence of the lives once lived within those walls. In the corner of one room, she noticed a full-length mirror, its surface tarnished with age. As she gazed into its depths, she saw not her own reflection, but a glimpse of something else, a fleeting shadow that seemed to lurk just beyond her sight. Startled, she turned away, dismissing it as a trick of the fading light. But as she ventured deeper into the house, the shadows seemed to follow her, taking on shapes of their own. Suddenly, she heard a sound that sent shivers down her spine, the distinct creak of a floorboard. She froze, listening intently. Was she alone in this house? Or did someone else share its solitude? As the sound echoed through the cavernous halls, she realized she wasn't as alone as she had thought. Her gaze fell upon a set of stairs leading to the upper floor. Each step groaned beneath her weight, as if the house itself was wary of her presence. At the top of the stairs, a long, narrow corridor stretched before her, lined with closed doors that concealed whatever secrets they held close. Curiosity burning within her, Mira began to explore, determined to uncover the mysteries that lay dormant within the walls of this forsaken house. As Mira continued her exploration, she stumbled upon a nursery. Toys lay scattered on the floor, frozen in mid-play. A rocking horse creaked gently back and forth as if nudged by an unseen hand. And on the wall hung a portrait of a family, their smiles haunting in their stillness. In the midst of the disarray, she discovered a diary, its pages filled with faded ink. The diary belonged to a young mother named Amelia, who had lived in the house over a century ago. Through Amelia's words, Mira learned of a deep sadness that had settled over the household, a chilling tale of loss and despair. As Mira read on, the shadows around her seemed to deepen, and the rocking horse's rhythm grew faster, faster, faster. A sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut, plunging the room into darkness. Panic surged through Mira as she realized she'd been enveloped by the house's secrets and its sorrow. Mira, desperate to escape the suffocating darkness, fumbled for her phone to illuminate the way. But as she turned on the screen, a distorted image greeted her. In a panic, she checked the time. It was 10:12 p.m. But moments later, when she looked again, the clock read 2:47 a.m. Mira blinked, confused. How could 4 hours have passed without her noticing? And what was happening to her phone? The time flickered erratically, making no sense. Mira felt a chill crawl up her spine. The house had played tricks on her before, distorting the passage of time. But now it seemed to be closing in, trapping her in its shadowy embrace. But then, above the cacophony of her racing heart, she heard a sound that sent a fresh wave of fear crashing over her. A faint knocking echoed from the depths of the house. Mira froze, straining to listen. The knocking came again, persistent and rhythmic, as if someone were desperately trying to communicate from the other side of a wall. Had she brought someone else into the house with her? She wondered, gripping her phone tightly, but she knew the answer. There was no one else here. With trembling hands, she followed the sound, each step echoing her own heartbeat in the oppressive silence. The knocking led her to a previously unnoticed door, its paint chipped and hanging precariously. Mira hesitated, the doorknob icy cold under her touch. But her curiosity and determination burned brightly. Taking a deep breath, she turned the knob and stepped inside. The room was bare except for a single wooden box in the corner. As she approached, the knocking intensified, growing louder, more insistent. Myra's heart pounded in her chest. What would she find inside the box? Hesitantly, she lifted the lid. And inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, lay a key. It was tarnished and ancient, yet something about it called to her. She searched the room, her gaze falling upon a section of the wall adorned with a tapestry. With trembling hands, she pulled it aside, revealing a hollow space behind. The key fit perfectly, and as she turned it, the wall swung inward, revealing a staircase that spiraled into darkness. The air grew colder, sending shivers down her spine. But her curiosity propelled her forward. Descending the stairs, she found herself in a basement, the air thick with the scent of damp earth. Before her lay a room that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The walls were adorned with countless mirrors, each reflecting the same unsettling scene. But as Myra moved, the images in the mirrors didn't react. They were frozen, stunned. In the center of the room stood a crib, empty but cold. A rocking horse creaked gently back and forth as if nudged by an unseen hand. And on the wall hung a portrait of a family, their smiles haunting in their stillness. As she turned, the mirrors rippled and the room shifted. The mirrors became windows, revealing a sight that made her blood run cold. Behind the glass stood pale children, their eyes hollow sockets staring back at her. Their mouths, devoid of teeth, stretched into chilling grins, revealing glimpses of something dark and sinister lurking within. The children moved closer, their silence deafening, their presence suffocating. One of them reached out, its touch sending icy fingers of fear crawling up her arm. Myra screamed, but her voice echoed emptily in the vast room. The children responded with a chorus of screams that seemed to rip through her very being. Their mouths widened impossibly, stretching from ear to ear. The house was alive, feeding off her fear, and the longer she stayed, the more it consumed her. Trapped in the maze of its corridors, the house toyed with her, reveling in her terror. Time lost all meaning as she raced through the labyrinth and halls, the house taunting her with glimpses of an escape that remained just out of reach. Mira ran, each breath echoing the desperation in her heart. She pounded on the front door, but it was no use. The house had imprisoned her, its grip tightening with every passing moment. Suddenly, a voice boomed through the house, resonating with an otherworldly power. Voice, demonic whisper. "Stay, we need a new face." The voice echoed, bouncing off the walls, wrapping around her like icy fingers. Myra collapsed against the wall, tears streaming down her face, her screams swallowed by the oppressive silence of the house. Cut to daylight. The morning sun struggled to penetrate the gloom that clung to the house. Police officers stood gathered outside the house, their faces etched with concern. They had come too late. Myra was gone. One of the officers noticed a small bag lying in the grass nearby. He picked it up, his eyes widening when he saw the camera. Inside, he found the last of Myra's footage. It showed her face pressed against a wall, eyes missing, mouth frozen mid-scream. Then a whisper cut through the darkness, soft yet chilling. "We made room for her." The screen went black. Number 11, Blackridge Lane still stands, empty or so it seems. Locals say if you walk past it after midnight, you'll see her at the window. But don't look too long. She's still learning your face.